Hello again, leadership folks. This video is to give you some information on the final exam, and I have changed that from what I had intended to do at the beginning of the semester. If you go back and look at our syllabus, it says that 100 points of your final grade comes from the final exam, and a little bit lower down on page 3 of 8 in our syllabus, as I'm talking about the components of the grading structure, I note that the final exam will be gained by administered in the form of a Dropbox assignment. That has not changed. But then it says it will involve writing a short reflective paper which is designed to have you think back on what you've learned about leadership through the 3 textbooks and the various assignments during the semester. And my intention was to have you write a page or 2 where you talked about ideas you got and what would make you a better leader as a result of what you've learned in this semester. But I've unfortunately found from reading term papers that it takes me a little too long to read and give feedback, and we're on a very tight timeline with the final to get grades in and posted, especially for folks who are graduating. And I believe that a video is actually going to be quicker for me to grade. So rather than doing a writing assignment for the final exam, you're going to record me another video, kind of like you did for your project. And let me give you some variables here that I'm going to be looking at as you do that. What you're going to do in 3 to 3.5 minutes is talk into the camera, making eye contact with me, and talking about how you're going to be a better leader in the future because of some things that you've learned in this class. The best final exams are going to do it very concisely, but be able to share some very specific ideas, maybe some qualities that you're going to work on building into your leadership persona as you strive to be a better leader. It's worth 100 points still, and you have access to the rubric to figure out what it's going to look like. But of the 100 points, 50 of those points relates completely to the content of your video. So what you tell me is half the grade. 20 points deal with professionalism. To some extent, that's going to be what you're wearing, how clean you are, how well you speak, things like that. 20 points on professionalism. 10 points comes from eye contact. Certainly you'll want to have some notes of things that you want to reference in your video, and you might have that taped up just to the side of your camera so that you don't have to lose eye contact like I'm doing right now. Glance at something, come back. If you have to look down like I was doing earlier with the syllabus, it'll detract a little bit from the eye contact. 10 points on eye contact. The more you look at the camera, the better you're going to score in that. And that's a practical application for real life. As you talk to people, the more you make eye contact with folks, the better you tend to do. 5 points deals with poise, how calm you are, how collected you are, how confident you are as you deliver the material. 5 points on poise. 10 points is on clarity. Is your vocal pattern sustained, kind of like mine is now? Does it seem like you're rushing? Do your ideas make sense? Those kinds of things. And then finally, 5 points, not enough to make a difference in the letter grade if you've done everything else right, but 5 points related to the time. The target is 3 to 3.5 minutes. For every 15 seconds outside that range, you're going to lose a point. So I would suggest as you prepare for this, that you get a piece of paper and you write down a couple of ideas that you really want to focus on. Remember that the idea is, what are you going to do different as a result of what you've learned? You might want to do a lot of things different, but you want to focus for this video on a couple of things. And then maybe draft out a script that you can read through in 3 minutes and 15 seconds, something like that, and practice that a few times. You may want to record several times until you get just what you think is perfect. When you're done with that, you'll need to give me a link to your video in the Dropbox, in the comments section of the Dropbox. As I start getting those things, I'll start looking through them and assigning point values. I can see that unless you have a real hard time getting it done in 3 to 3.5 minutes, and personally, I can tell you, I would fail this assignment because I talk way too long on those videos. Get to the point, get your points across, and get out of the video. I think this is going to make a pretty good summation of what you've learned and what you can practically do with it. Again, from the syllabus, the most important thing about these master's level classes ought to be, what do I do with it? How do I use it? And I think you've learned a lot of stuff in this class that you really can use. So my challenge in this assignment as we wrap up the semester, give me an idea of what you're going to do differently in the future in order to get better results than you've gotten in the past. The video is a quick way to give me a pretty good synopsis of what you've learned and what you're going to do and how you pull ideas together. It's going to probably be easier for me to grade. Instead of spending 15 to 30 minutes reading a paper, I've got to watch a 3.5 minute video and I can give feedback fairly quickly. Hopefully this is going to be interesting to you and practical to you, and it's going to be that culmination of the class where you put it all together into something that makes sense and that can be expressed coherently. We talk oftentimes about the 3-minute elevator pitch. What would you say if you were in an elevator going down, going up, whatever, to somebody who can make a decision? You know you've only got 2 or 3 minutes to be able to get the most important pieces across. That's what you want to accomplish with this video. I'm looking forward to seeing them. I've enjoyed reading your discussions. I've enjoyed interacting with you on the class calls, and I know that I'm going to enjoy this. It's my last chance to see you face to face before we end the semester, and I know that you're going to do well.